Welcome guys, this video is designed to be used in conjunction with the Word document and the supporting files. Okay, here's our layout that we're starting with. Moving over to our index page, we've got a basic page structure. Down in the body section I have a navigation at the top, a submenu on the left hand side and a content on the right hand side. The submenu and the content layers are in a wrapper due to the fact they're floating. Moving over to our main navigation.php page, and this is where we begin our tutorial. As can be seen, we have a series of hyperlinks to the home page, page 2, page 3 and page 4. The first hyperlink is a conventional hyperlink. The second one, you'll notice that the links are followed by a question mark. Question mark in PHP indicates that you're passing some data to the new page. It's referred to as a query string. The first bit of information after the question mark is the name of the variable. It's actually an element of the array. And the value that it has is what follows after the equal sign. So in the case of this link here, the element array is named page and the value it contains is page 4. Moving back over to our index page, I'm just going to include that onto my index page in the navigation layer. We're in HTML, so I need to open some PHP to use a PHP include function. That's a conventional PHP include function, and inside the quotes we put the path to the file. And we save that. Moving over to our web page, just change our path to our PHP folder. And then click on Include Nav folder, our project folder. And we should see the result there with the hyperlinks showing the different pages. Clicking on the hyperlinks produces a reload of the index page with nothing happening except for the fact we are submitting a variable to the page which we're not doing anything with at the moment. We can see it there, the elements page and the values page 4. Moving back over to our index page, we're now ready to collect that variable. Typically done at the top of the page above the doc type. Because there's no output to the screen here, we can do the PHP above the doc type where it will all be parsed and processed before it reaches the web browser. And I'm going to basically here test to see if it is set with an if function. And what I'm checking to see is set is the array $_get, and in particular the element of the array named page, which is what's being passed from the query string. If it's true, I'm going to assign that to a single variable called $page for using further down the page. Okay, so now the page, whenever anybody hits a hyperlink, if there's been a query string sent to the page, then the single variable will be that value, page 2, page 3 or page 4. Again, nothing will be happening on our page just yet. I'll move down our website to our content section of our website. Move into there. I'm going to go back to the left hand margin just for space purposes. And again, I'm working in PHP. And this time now, I'm going to work that variable using a function known as a switch case. It consists of the switch function, looks like any other function, and we're switching based on the value of this new variable called page. And for each instance of page, we create a case. Now, switch cases are typically used when you know the different cases you're likely to encounter. And I know that I've got them set to page 2, page 3 and page 4. You may have noticed that is a full colon there, not a semicolon at the end of that line. Each case requires a break statement to prevent it running on to the next one. So the second case I'm going to check for with a full colon is page 2. And again, I'm going to break the code there so it doesn't move on. Break means escape in this term. And then case, oops, sorry, that should be page 3 up there. My apologies. Page 4. And finally, at the bottom of the switch function, we have a default option, which is where it will go if none of the cases match. Now there will be an instance where page isn't set, and that's the very first time somebody visits the website. So in that instance, I want to have this to be the home page. For now, I'm just going to put a comment in here to remind me that this will be home page. Again, at this point, no content is coming out on the page. All we're doing is now coming down to the correct section of the page depending on what somebody clicks on when they click on one of these 4 hyperlinks. If page is equal to 2, then it will be set to the $page variable at the top of our page. It'll come down to the switch function. It'll switch on page 2. It'll find that case to match, and it'll do the code in this section. And just for quick debugging purposes, I'm going to print out what $page is at this point in each one of my cases below. And for my default one, I'm just going to print the value home. Okay, there's my code, and I'll just save that. Moving over to my web browser, refreshing the page, and you'll see immediately we get the value home coming into the page. And if you look, the index path up in the address bar has no query string, so that's gone into the default of the case. When I click on page 2, we get page 2 in the content section, and you can see the query string has page equals page 2, page 3, and the query string, page 3, and page 4, and the query string, page 4. The name of the element of the array and the value you give it can be anything you choose. I've chosen to use the word page and the values page 1, 2, 3 and 4 just for convenience. Okay, that's the end of this short video. The next stage we'll go on to is to include some content in this section based on those values clicked. Thank you.